I have always had an appreciation for art as it can bring you back through different periods of time and history and make you think about what the artist is trying to convey or show you. And even more than paintings, what I really like when it comes to art is when it comes to vehicles. Lines, curves, side profiles of the vehicle, the wheel designs, the curvature of the glass, the headlights, the taillights, the interiors. When it comes to art on vehicles, I love it all. And what I really love about cars today is when they use styling and influence from classic cars from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, bring them back to life in a new and innovative way on modern day vehicles. Which is why I am very excited to check out Rockstar's newest addition to the supercar category with the new Lampadati Tigon, which you can pick up on Legendary Motorsports for $2.3 million. This is the new Lampadati Tigon. And can we just take a second to appreciate that front end and how wide and massive those front fenders are with those headlights? You will see styling from retro vehicles all around this car, from the front to the rear end and those rear tail lights. I see influencing from the old Ford GT40 from the late 1960s, all the way up to the 1990 McLarens as well. And I am really loving this bubble of a cockpit. Really is a great combination of modern with the old school. The mirrors hanging off on the sides remind me of the Pagani Huayra. So they have definitely used some of the best touches from the car world all around. Really loving this low profile, those circular taillights, that diffuser on the bottom, the mesh between the license plate and that luxurious Lampadati logo, dead center on that rear ducktail spoiler. Also, we've got the exhaust on top of the motor, and the motor is exposed through the rear glass, and we can see some, looks like some carbon fiber intakes in there. I cannot wait to modify this thing and get it on the road. Check it out in some more detail. So Rockstar has definitely hit this one out of the park, as hands down I have instantly fallen in love with the looks of this vehicle. This is my new favorite supercar in the game looks-wise. Let's bring it over to LSC and see what we can do for customization before giving it a well-deserved test drive to see if the driving experience can keep up with the looks of this vehicle. And look at that. We've got gull-wing doors to boot, guys. Oh, man. I was excited for this one, but I am pretty blown away right now, to be honest with you guys.
How's it going? Here for the magic touch?
This is Lampadati's first supercar in the game, by the way, and what an introduction into the supercar category from Lampadati. Let's start off with putting some race brakes on the Tigon. Moving on to front bumpers, and man, can we just take a second to appreciate the curves on those front fenders, the headlights, the bubble for that cockpit, and those mirrors. I am in love, guys. It's been a long time since I felt this strongly about a new car introduced into the game. All right, front bumpers, we can do canards with some carbon fiber and rivets. Can do a race splitter, downforce splitter. Can go with the performance variant, the arc splitter, or the GT splitter. And you guys know I love my carbon fiber, but for this beauty that is heavily based on retro designs, I am going to leave that as is. See what we have for the rear bumpers, starting with a race diffuser. And looks like that adds a bigger brake light, third brake light. That's kind of cool. Moving on to the MK2, add some more lines down there. Can do the performance diffuser Got the speed diffuser. Wow, that really fills everything in down below. Or the turbo diffuser. One thing to note on the last two options is the diffuser does reach around to the bottom corner of those fenders. So I am going to go with the Racer MK2 diffuser with that third brake light and some more fins down there. All right, let's see what we can do for the exhaust, which is top mounted right behind that race motor. Can go with a round exhaust, definitely not for me. Can do a round cluster exhaust. Look at that thing. 3 outlets there. Can do the split. Ooh, okay. Kind of reminds me of the Emirates, the McLaren Senna. Can do the jet exhaust or the dual round. And I would usually go with the split exhaust, but the stock exhaust is a bit more free, less restriction. So I think I will leave that stock. Moving back to the front of the vehicle, we can put some xenon lights on here, which I will do on this blend of vintage and modern supercar. Ooh, moving on to some liveries. We've got 11 options. Really excited to see these, so we can do some race stripes, which looks a golden color, especially over this orange that's on here now. Can do yellow double stripes. That is weird how it starts and finishes. It doesn't go all the way through, but okay, we've got that. Can do these speed stripes. Wow. Red, white, and blue on these speed stripes livery. A green double stripes, a lime green going on the right side of the vehicle. Crossing over. Racer number 4, there you go. That's some vintage logos design. Can do a Racer 10, which is a lot more modern, a lot more modern day. Racer 23. Man, look at those fenders. You can really see when the livery is laid over. And the front, we've got that dark blue with the white and red stripe. Some more logos on the side. And on the back as well. I like this one. I like that dark blue and the sponsors all around. Can do Jackal Racing. We've seen this one before. And man, this looks like a gumball run supercar ready to race across the United States or Europe. Moving on to the Sprint. This looks a lot more simple. Look at that though. That's kind of cool on the front. On the side as well. Not bad. And finally, we have Flames. If you want to go a little hot rod style on the new Tigon. And for me, I am going to leave this clean, as I am going to go for a retro vintage look on the paint job with the primary paint. For the license plate, let's put on a yellow on blue, since that is a retro color for the older license plates. And let's put on the high life, because we are living high with the new Tigon. I am loving this thing. All right, let's check out the Tigon in a few different colors. This is going to be a popular one, the Cabernet Red, as this car is based on the Tomaso P72, an Italian car manufacturer, and this is their flagship color for the P72, so cannot go wrong with the Cabernet Red. I think this car looks amazing in a standard yellow as well. Going back to a classic retro yellow, it really brings out the red in those tail lights on the rear of the vehicle. Can't go wrong with a standard yellow. And as for me, I am going to go with a vintage Saxon blue. Really reminds me of the Ford GT40. That was Ford's flagship race car back in the late 1960s. Love how it brings out the taillights as well with that blue license plate. That was my idea from the beginning, and I love the chrome wheels that they put on this car from the factory. So we are going to go with the Saxon blue. And going to throw on a ultra blue pearlescent to make it shine, pop, and be a little bit more lively. For the secondary color, it's going to change the roof the mirrors, and the rear diffuser of the vehicle, so I will leave that black as is. Moving on, we have some options for the side skirts, which I'll rotate around here for some better lighting. Can do some race skirts, which adds a little fin towards the rear. Some track skirts, which looks like it comes out wider. Can do sports, has the fin, and it looks like it comes out wider as well. The aero skirts, okay, different design back there. Or the GT MK2, which adds a little intake duct, it looks like, towards the rear, fin on the front. And I do like the design on the sports skirts, so I will throw that on.
That's a beauty right there.
And we've got some options for the spoiler, but oh, this is going to be tough. I really love the rear of this vehicle as is with that natural ducktail spoiler kind of built in, but let's see. We've got 12 options starting with primary race spoiler. You know what? That actually looks really nice. Was not expecting it to be that flush. And we would have 4 brake lights, it looks like. Can get that in secondary as well. Moving on to the track spoiler. Carbon fiber. The way it's held on kind of reminds me of the McLaren Senna a little bit. Then we've got the GT. Can do the carbon aero, which is a little bit different from the track spoiler. Can do the primary aero or secondary, change the paint options on that. Whoa, did you guys see that? So the GT MK2 spoiler literally adds a fin going up the entire rear of the vehicle with an intake. Oh my gosh, that is insane. The way this fin runs up reminds me of the Zentorno, the structure of that spoiler. Okay, that is definitely an option as well. Can get that in secondary. And last but not least, we have the primary arc spoiler. Geez, this is intense. And can get that in secondary as well. Was not expecting this good of spoiler options, guys. Wow. And man, as tempting as these are, they really are tempting. I think I really love the lines as is so much, more on the simple side. I think I'm going to throw on this primary erase spoiler. Some people are going to go the more extreme route, which I don't blame you at all, because I'm really on the fence right now. But to keep it to its heritage of vintage retro inspiration, I'm going to keep it simple with the primary race spoiler for now.
Now that's a custom job.
Got a few options for the sunstrip, can do primary or secondary, but I really don't want to take anything away from the glass on this vehicle, as I love this bubble and the rear glass over that motor, so I will leave that as is. And onto the suspension options. Let's see how low this thing can go from stock to lowered. Barely noticed that. Then we have street, sport, or competition. Very nice. So it's very minor. It doesn't do anything too crazy, which is good nowadays. So I will do the competition suspension. Transmission, yes. Turbo, yes, please.
Oh, she'll hit warp speed now.
And with only 2 options left, we can change the wheels if we wanted to. There's a new street category added to the game in today's summer update, which is very exciting. I love these new wheels. Very, very refreshing to get new choices for all of our vehicles. However, I am really in love with these stock wheels on the new Tigon. So I am going to leave these as is. They do look pretty similar to the Tomaso P72, and I love how they complement the Saxon blue paint job, so we'll leave that as is. And last up is windows. We could do light smoke, of course the dark or the limo. I'm always doing light smoke, but I hate to do that on this car with I'm telling you guys, the work they did on this with the glass, the rear windshield, that rear glass panel that covers the motor, and these gull wing doors, even the front windshield, In fact, I just noticed that windshield wiper, which I love the design of those wipers on supercars, the one wiper. So I'm going to leave it as is on this guy for the window tint. And that is everything, all 21 options for a customization, some good liveries in there, and what really blew me away was the options for the spoiler. The rear spoiler, you guys may go the more aggressive route with those last options or the more simple route, which I went with. Either way, this is a damn good looking supercar, and I cannot wait to get it on the road. So let's take it out and check it out in some more detail. Oh man. You know what? Part of me is tempted to tell you guys to go out and buy this right now. And some of you will, just based on the looks and the sound alone. I am loving this. Really reminds me of so many vintage vehicles. The Ford GT40, the older McLarens, older Jaguars. And all it takes is one look at those mirrors that are inspired by the Pagani Huayra to remind me that this is a current vehicle, a modern vehicle. So first order of business is let's check the drivetrain on the new Tigon very carefully without scratching it. And we've got all-wheel drive, guys. That is a huge plus in my book, as you guys all know. Let's see if this supercar will do some victory donuts. Oh man, these are some of the smoothest donuts I have done in a supercar. Wow, wow, wow. Let's open everything up and check this thing out in some more detail. Oh my God. So the front does not open, but look at those gull-wing doors. Look at that bubble of a cockpit. Let's check out the engine in some more detail. Wow, I love how this rear lid lifts up with the rear tires and wheels of the vehicle exposed. Let's loop around to this side. I think we'll get a little bit better lighting, but look at that canopy, how that lifts up with those gull-wing doors. Oh my God, I am in car heaven right now, guys. So we've got spark plug wires. We can see some chrome headers on the bottom of the motor, the suspension, the exhaust, the piping of the exhaust, both of them, both sides going to that outlet. Got a battery, looks like a little radiator back there. And of course, that shiny Lampadati logo on the engine cover. I am loving it. Check this out. The intake, the carbon fiber intake actually comes to these ducts, these intake ducts, and it filters through to the motor. This is some of the best work done by Rockstar. Great job, Rockstar. Hats off to you. Let's check out the interior. Let's climb into this bad boy. And that is unfortunate. The gauges protrude up. Never a fan of that, but can never get everything. As I always say in every video, the seats could be a little bit more updated, a little bit more modern. But the interior is the least of my concerns right now. My concern is test driving this vehicle, my favorite part of these videos. And can I just say, sitting inside of this thing, I feel like I'm in a time capsule from the 1960s with those giant fenders and the glass and structure of inside of here. So without anything else, it is time to put the new Tigon through its paces. Are you guys ready to see if the acceleration, speed, and handling matches the stunning good looks of the vehicle? Let's do this! As we fly out to the streets, rear-wheel drive, do a tunnel pass. No way. Did you guys hear that? I just heard a supercharger whine. Let's do another pass. Yes. There we have it. We have a supercharger whine on top of what I think is the best sounding exhaust note now, as that rear wheel drive snaps out. So this engine note is really reminding me of the Tyrus, which has always been one of my favorite sounding cars in the game. Of course, the XA21 is a bit more raw and brutal, and this is a bit more refined. But when you add the supercharger whine, yeah, you guys hear that down below these underpasses? With that supercharger whine, I think I've found my new best sounding car in the game. Now let's focus a bit on the handling, acceleration, and speed. Let's do a top speed run. Let's do a top speed run up here. You can hear it wanting to go faster, wanting to go more, but it just doesn't have as much, again, as the Krieger, the Emrys. Is it slow? Definitely not. This is no slouch. I'd be willing to say this is in the top 10 somewhere. Just not going to be top 5 or top 3. As we're moving, but we're not moving at light speed. Definitely picking up some more speed on the downhill as that rear wheel drive snap oversteers, but it is very easy to regain control. So that is a good thing. Let's test out the handling now as we take some turns back in town. And yeah, it is a bit sluggish on the handling, unfortunately. But it's not bad. Not bad. Maybe top 20, top 15 if I had to guess, but definitely not top tier for the handling. Has a nice speed boost though, as we can do some power slides. So that is a whole new world of fun, which we usually don't see in these supercars. So then, to answer the question of should you buy one of these, should you buy the new Lampadati Tigon, it's definitely not a must-own vehicle for performance, for the handling or the top speed or the acceleration. However, if you are a car enthusiast, it is a must-own vehicle based on what a piece of art Rockstar actually did with this thing. Can really see from the front end all the design, all the influences of the car. Plus, with the speed boost that actually works pretty good, this thing is a blast to drive, doing some power slides, which usually you can't do in supercars. So you should buy this vehicle for two reasons. Number one is the styling, the design. It's not slow, okay? It's not a slow vehicle, but it's not the fastest. Again, above average, we'll leave it at that. But the design of the vehicle, the looks, the sound of it with the supercharger, these are the reasons you should buy this vehicle. It is, without a doubt, for me, the most breathtaking vehicle design-wise. And I would recommend it to you guys for your supercar collection. Not for racing so much, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to be driving this thing a lot more than the Emrys and the Krieger for the foreseeable future. And that is going to do it for this video, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. These are always the funnest videos for me to do. And I'm excited to be checking out more of these vehicles in the days to come with you guys as well. We've got a new Corvette, new Benny's vehicles, so a lot to look forward to. Great job by Rockstar on this new vehicle. Can't wait to see what's next. Until the next video, you guys stay cool, enjoy the new summer update, and I will see you guys very soon in the next video. H2TV signing out.